Mr. Denny Do, you are welcome. Mr. Denny, you are welcome. Mr. Denny, can you hear me? Mr. Denny, can you hear me? I think Denny is having some challenge there. Can you hear me, Toyin?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Denny, can you hear me? Okay, so you are welcome to this session. I hope you have visited the course page. Mr. Oyedoku, you are welcome. Oyedoku, you are welcome. So you are welcome to this page. And we shall be looking at poultry housing and then the feeding of poultry. But before then, I would like to find out from you how many systems of rearing poultry do we have? How many systems of rearing of poultry do we have? Yes. How many systems of poultry rearing do we have?
We have 3, sir.
Very good. 3 of them?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you name one of it?
Semi-intensive, sir.
Semi-intensive system. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And somebody else name another
Extensive / free range system.
Extensive / free range system. Yes, any other one?
And then
Yes. Any other one? Yes, can you name another one?
cage. Battery cage system. Battery cage system.
Yes, that is under the intensive system. Okay. So there are 3 major systems. You have the free range stroke extensive, you have the semi-intensive, and then you have the intensive system. Now, under intensive system, how many systems do you have there? How many types do you have? You have named one already, battery cage, yes?
We have 2. We have the deep litter system.
You have the deep litter system. And then another one?
We have the fold system.
The fold system. So that is the three we have under that category. That's very good. Now let us go to the topic of today. We're going to look at housing. Can anybody tell me the reasons why we need to house our animals? The reasons why you need to house the birds. Why do you house the birds?
So as to restrict them from diseases and also risks of predators, sir.
Okay, to restrict them and prevent them from predators and thieves. Yes, one.
Yes, sir.
Any other one?
From bad weather, sir.
Sorry?
To protect the birds from bad weather. Yes,
Very
sir.
good. Protect them from bad weather. Yes.
Yes, sir. And to keep the birds in age group, sir.
Okay. Group them into different groups.
Yes,
by
sir.
their ages.
From theft. To protect them from theft.
Protect them from theft. Yeah, so those are some of the important ones. Protect them from bad weather, protect them from theft, and also to control the birds and keep them in groups. So Musa, can you hear me now? Musa, you're muted. Can you just unmute yourself and let me know if you are hearing?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, fine, that's good. So those are some of the reasons why we house our birds. Now, there are some general principles when you are trying to build poultry houses in the tropics. And these guiding principles are: one, the provision of optimal condition of temperature, humidity, ventilation, and light. Another thing you also consider is the cost of the building and the durability. And finally, you need to look at the structure, how strong, how durable, and how cheap. So those are the things you take into consideration. And then we have guidelines as well. These guidelines will guide you no matter the type of house you are trying to build. And some of these guidelines include the external walls should be low as possible. Now, if I may ask, why should the external walls be low? Why should the external walls be low?
For free ventilation, sir.
Very good. For adequate ventilation.
Yes,
for
sir.
Proper ventilation. Now, the roof should also be of corrugated material, or it can be thatch roof to prevent leakages, water dropping in. You should have enough overhangs so that when it rains, rain will not enter the pen. And then, of course, you have to provide wire mesh to ensure that you allow for free air, but at the same time, you prevent predators from climbing into the poultry house. And then the poultry house should not be too wide. the poultry house should be constructed in an east-west direction. And then, of course, the poultry house should be located in a well-drained ground. Why do you think the poultry house should be located in a well-drained ground? Yes?
To prevent floods, sir.
Very good. To prevent water, the runoff water from rain or flood from taking over your poultry house. Because if that happens, all your birds will die. Now, so those are some of the guiding principles in construction of a poultry house. Now, what are the things you must take into consideration by way of equipment that should be in a poultry house? What are the equipment that should be in a poultry house? What are the equipment that should be in a poultry house? If you enter a poultry house, what are the things, the equipment you expect to see?
We have feeder, drinkers.
You have feeders, very good. Feeders, yes.
Drinker.
Drinkers, very good. What else?
Feed trays, sir.
Yeah, feed trays. So these are the things you are, and if they are layers, you can also find next boxes and also heating facilities. Now, if we have these equipment, how do we ensure maximum use of them? First, we must ensure that the feeding trough should not be overfilled. If they are overfilled, what will happen?
Wastage of.
If they are overfilled, what will happen?
Wastage of feed, sir.
Yes, there will be spillage and wastage of feed. That
Yes,
is
sir.
very good. So how do you ensure that we maintain this equipment? What can you do to ensure that this equipment are properly maintained?
Like their feeders and drinker must be washed and clean always.
It must be washed always. The feeders and drinkers, yes. What do you use to clean them?
Soap and water, sir, with sponge.
Water, and then you dry them. And in
Yes.
cases, you can also use disinfectants if they have been soiled, so that you are sure that parasites don't begin to grow in them. Ensure that they are always dry. Okay. So far, is there any question you'd like to ask? Is there any question you'd like to ask? What we have treated so far? So I assume that you are okay with it. We will quickly now move on to the principles of feeding poultry. Why do you need to feed your birds? Why do you need to feed your birds?
For growth, sir.
For growth, yes, one.
For energy.
Okay, for energy. Okay. Two reasons why you feed animals. First, to ensure their growth. And the second one, to ensure that you get the best returns on their productivity, on their products.
Yes.
Because if you don't feed the animals well, they will not grow.
Yes.
And then at the same time, they will not be able to produce enough egg, meat, as the case might be, since these are poultry. Now, in the last lesson, we said that poultry are monogastric animals and they have simple stomach. Can you name some of the components of the digestive system? Can you name some of the components of the digestive system?
Beak.
You have the beak, yes.
Tongue.
You have the tongue, yes.
Esophagus.
Esophagus,
Crops.
correct.
We have the duodenum.
You have a crop, yes.
We have the
Gizzard.
Gizzard,
Yes.
yes.
Small intestine, the large intestine.
Very good.
We have
Any other one?
liver.
cloaca.
Yes, you have the liver, yes.
Gallbladder.
We also have salivary gland.
The salivary gland.
We have the kika.
We have the pancreas.
Pancreas.
The lungs. The lungs.
Okay, the lungs. Okay, that's very good. So you now know the various parts of the digestive system. So if I may ask, the beak, what is it used for?
The beak is used for picking of feed.
Yes, the beak is used for picking of the feeds. Okay. Now, the salivary gland, what does it do?
It is to facilitate the down movement of the feed.
It secretes saliva, which lubricates the feed and facilitates the down movement into the crop.
Very good, very good. Okay. And then you have in the stomach, which enzyme is responsible for the digestion of protein? Which enzyme is responsible for the digestion of protein?
The pancreas.
No.
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 The enzyme. Okay. The enzyme is pepsin.
Pepsin, yes.
Now, when the food moves into the stomach, which enzyme is also responsible for the digestion of carbohydrates?
Amylase.
Amylase. Very good. That is very good. Now, what is the main function of the gizzard?
Gizzard. The main
before?
function of gizzard is to grind and to grind the feed. That is to crush the feed into smaller particles.
For the purpose of digestion. Very good.
Yes.
To grind the feeds into smaller particles for the purpose of digestion. Have you eaten a gizzard before?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it sweet?
Very delicious, sir.
Okay, that's fine. That's all right. So now, what is the main function of the large intestine? The large intestine, what is the main function?
The large intestine is responsible for water absorption and
Very good.
storage
Large
of
intestine is
feces.
responsible for
Yes.
water absorption and
Feces
storage of
and the storage
fecal
of feces. Okay, fecal.
matter, which is what you just call fecal matter. So that is about that. Now, in the nutrition of poultry, there are essential nutrients. Okay. What are these nutrients? What are these nutrients?
We have energy, sir.
Energy,
We have
Protein,
protein,
vitamins, mineral, and water.
Now, the various nutrients, you have water, carbohydrates, fats and oil, protein, vitamins, and minerals. Now, the carbohydrates and the fats and oil are sources of energy. What about the protein? What are the building blocks of protein? What are the building blocks of protein? What makes up the protein?
The amino acid.
Amino acid.
Amino acid. So when the proteins are broken down, they are broken down into amino acids. Very good. Now, in what form is energy expressed in a poultry diet? In what form is energy expressed in a poultry diet? In what form is energy expressed in a poultry diet?
Source, plant source and animal sources.
Okay. Now, I asked, in what form is energy expressed in a poultry diet? It is expressed as metabolizable energy. Metabolizable energy. Now, what are the sources of energy in a poultry diet? Name those ingredients that supply energy in a poultry diet.
Lysine, sir.
Sorry?
Lysine.
No,
We have
no,
plant.
no.
We have
Millet.
plant source of
Ingredients.
plant. That is
We have
the plant
maize.
Okay, we have maize. We have
Very good. Maize.
PKC.
We have millet. We have wheat.
Yes.
Barley.
Wheat, yes. Barley.
Then
Maize brown.
soya beans.
No, soybean is, yes, it provides energy because of their fats. Yes.
We have cassava.
Cassava,
Yam.
Groundnut cake.
granite, but strictly
Vegetable
speaking,
oil.
vegetable oil. Okay. So you have what is called, do you know what is called dry brewer's grain? Dry
No.
brewer's grain.
No, sir.
You know, if you are producing either beer or even malt drink, you know, they will extract the carbohydrates from the malt itself, from the grain itself. And then when they finish extracting that carbohydrate out, the starch out, you will now be left with the shafts, as it were. Those shafts is what is called brewer's grain.
Okay, sir. But we know it as a brewery waste, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So when you not dry it, it becomes dried brewer's grain, which you also call is the same thing as the brewery waste. But the brewery waste also include things like even yeast. You understand it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you name the ingredients for supplying protein in the diet of poultry?
there are two sources: animal source and plant source.
There are animal sources and plant sources. Good.
Yes, we
Can
have.
you name the plant sources?
We have okay. The plant sources, there are soya beans. There is
We have
granola.
a Bambara nut also.
Bambara nut, yes. Soybean.
Granite cake.
Very good.
Cotton
Soya
seed
beans
cake,
meal.
sir.
Okay.
Shea butter
Soya beans
milk.
Now,
meal.
yeah, butter. It's okay. Now, if I may ask, now, what are, you know, when we're looking at the first part, we said when proteins are broken down, they are broken down into amino acids. Is it also? And
Yes.
amino acids can be divided into two. You have what's
Essential and
called essential
non-essential.
amino acids, and you have the non-essential amino acids.
Essential amino acid, yeah.
So the question comes, what are essential amino acids?
Essential amino acids are those amino acids that the body cannot synthesize itself. It has to be supplied through the diet. And there are 20 of them. Sorry, there are 10 of them.
10, yeah, very good. So we say that essential amino acids are those amino acids that the bird cannot synthesize and must be supplied in the diet. Good. So can you give examples of some essential amino acids?
Valine.
Sorry?
Glycine.
Valine, yes.
Lysine.
Yes, lysine.
Triplotan.
What?
Triplotan. Triplotan.
Lysine.
right?
We have
Factor.
histidine. We have histidine and arginine.
Okay, you have tryptophan. That thing is called
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
pronounced tryptophan. Then you
Okay.
have
We have
lysine,
histidine. We have histidine.
histidine, good.
We have
You have
Phenylalanine.
methionine.
phenylalanine,
Histidine.
you have theoline, arginine, and leucine. Okay, can you name?
But sir, I have a question.
Let's
Sir.
name. Yes,
I have
please,
a question,
ask.
sir.
Good.
Why is it that in this notes we have this very course material, they call the
Yes.
amino acid in general 20, whereas they're supposed to be 22? Because I read it somewhere that there are those prominent amino acid. There is 22 of them, in which 50% of them are essential and 50% are non-essential. But here in this our course material, it says that there is 20, in which 10 are essential, 10 non-essential. How come?
Any question?
Yes. Now it varies. There are 20 of them that are clearly defined. But that does not mean that there could not have been any more that is also considered to be non-essential, but they are also present. But the major ones are the 20. Okay?
All right.
Yeah. Now, then you have name some of the non-essential amino acids.
Alamine,
Proline.
sir.
What?
Alamine.
Alamine is
Aspartic
alamine.
acid.
Okay.
It's pronounced alamine.
Okay, sir. And
There is
Aspartic acid.
there is glutamine.
That's what?
Glutamine.
proline, sir. Proline.
Proline. Yes.
Yes.
Hydroxypaline.
Glutamine.
Yes.
Serine.
Okay, so those are examples of some of them. That's very good. I'm happy that you have been studying your course material. Now, what about minerals? What are the major minerals? What are the major class of minerals we have in poultry feeds?
We have macro and micro elements.
You have the what?
The macro and micro elements.
Yes. Okay. When you say macro, what does it mean?
They are
That is major.
required in large quantities.
Those minerals that are
Required in large quantities. And then micro?
Element that require
They
in
are
small
required in
quantity.
small quantities.
Can you give an example of one micro?
Micro.
Calcium.
Sorry?
Calcium.
Calcium. Okay.
Potassium.
Those are macro.
Yes.
I said micro.
Okay.
Okay,
Iodine.
iron, zinc.
Iron, zinc. Okay.
Yes.
Cobalt and
Iodine,
fluorine.
there's iodine, there's fluorine, there is cobalt, there's a manganese.
Manganese,
Very
combat,
good. All
and
right.
fluorine.
Now, what are the sources? If you want to prepare your feed, what are the sources of minerals?
Like iron,
What are the
it can be gotten
sources?
from bone meal.
Okay.
Hmm.
Calcium, phosphorus. So the common sources of
Sodium chloride.
minerals, you have bone meal, oyster shell, limestone, dicalcium phosphate, common salt, wood ash, green grass, vegetables, and of course, for iron, you can also get iron from blood meal, even though it is strictly a protein source. Okay. Now, vitamins. How many vitamins do we have?
13, sir.
We have two forms of vitamins, sir. We have two, that is the water soluble and the fat solubles.
Yes, there are two major types of vitamins, water and fat soluble vitamins. Okay. Can you give an example?
Example of fat soluble, there's a vitamin A, D, E, and K.
Vitamin K, yes.
Okay, that's good. Now, when you are feeding animals, for birds, there are three major types of feeds we use in feeding birds. Can you name them?
We have chick mash,
You have chick mash, okay.
grower,
We have grower,
layer, or
Grower mash,
broiler
yes.
finisher.
Okay. Now, if you have young broilers, they old young broilers, what will you give to them?
Starter, broiler starter.
Okay, broiler starter. And usually, though, in your course material, you say you have it as broiler starter 0 to 6 weeks, but in actual commercial distance, 0 to 4 weeks.
Yes, sir.
So that you reduce your cost. While the finisher, you use it as from the 4th week. And by 8 weeks, your birds should be ready.
Yes.
After 8 weeks, you will be wasting a lot of money on their feeds. And it will become unproductive. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Is there any question you'd like to ask? Okay. Then let us quickly go to incubation of eggs. What is incubation of eggs?
incubation.
Incubation is when a fertilized egg
Yes.
Incubation is the process of aiding development of a fertilized egg.
Okay.
Into
the
a large
management
chick.
of
Yes.
fertilized eggs, so that the embryos can develop into a chick.
A normal chick.
That's very good. I can see that Glory, you want to ask a question. Edet, Glory, you want to ask a question? Glory, your hand is up. You want to ask a question? Okay, she's muted. If you unmute yourself, you can speak if you have a question to ask. If not, you can lower your hand. All right, so we say that incubation is the management of fertilized eggs to develop into normal chicks. That is good. Now, can you name the parts of the reproductive system of the chick, of the hen? Could you just quickly name them? Ovary, yes.
We have
Ovary.
kidney,
Ovary, yes.
kidney,
Infundibulum, magnum,
shear gland,
isthmus, yes. Uterus,
Shell.
shear gland, and the croca and the vagina. Now, can anybody name the different parts of the egg? Is there anybody in the class who has not eaten egg before? Is there anyone who has not eaten an egg?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no.
So can you just tell us some of the parts of the egg?
We have yolk.
We have the yolk. Okay.
Yes.
I know that
white.
is the one Musa likes the yolk. Yes.
Yeah, we have the blood,
Okay.
blood store down. Blood store down.
Yes. What else? You have what?
inner thin white.
Okay, you have the egg white. What is the
We
name
have the
other name
shell.
for the scientific name of egg white?
Eh?
Scientific name of the egg white is what?
What the hell? No idea.
You know what's called albumin? Albumin.
Oh, okay, that is the saucer.
Yes. And then you have the egg shell membrane. You have the egg shell itself. And then of course you have the air chamber. And then you have the chalaza. These are the different parts of the egg. And eggs are made up of water and the various nutrients. Very high in protein. So you have the shell and the shell membrane, the albumin, chalaza, and these are the components of the egg. And this egg is made up of water, protein, fats, ash, and carbohydrate. So when you come to incubation of eggs can be in two forms. You have natural incubation and artificial incubation. Now, who can explain what natural incubation is?
This is
Let me
getting
try.
hen to sit on fertilized egg so as to incubate the egg. That's natural incubation, sir.
Natural incubation when the mother hen sits on the fertilized egg, providing the warmth, the right humidity for the development of the embryo. That is natural incubation. While artificial is what?
It's carried out.
This is when it's carried in a incubator.
Okay.
Using fuel
Why
such
in
as
a
reaction?
Okay, you use the incubator to supply the heat
Yes.
and the ventilation that is necessary for the development of the embryo. So in the incubator, you control the temperature, you control the humidity. That is main thing the incubator does. Now, if you are to incubate your eggs artificially, what should be the operating temperature?
7.5 degrees Celsius.
Sorry?
37.5 degrees Celsius.
Very good. 37.5 degrees Celsius. And what should be the relative humidity?
60 to 65%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60 to 65%. And then how many times are you expected to turn the egg daily?
At least 3 times daily.
At least 3 times a day. Very good. Now, the operation of the incubator is divided into 2 phases. You have the setting of the eggs, and then you have the hatching of the eggs. Setting of the eggs, 0 to 18 days, while the hatching from the 19th to the 21st day. So it is very important that some of these things are very. Now, how do you detect fertile eggs in the incubator?
Sorry?
How do you detect fertile eggs or dead eggs in the incubator?
Something cool. By what is it called? Yes.
Have you heard of
like
kindling?
Yes, yes.
Kindling?
Kindling, yes, sir.
Kindling, yes. Can you describe what it is?
It looks like a bulb, sir. So the egg is being placed closely to it.
You're placing the egg in the front of a strong source of light.
Yes, sir.
When you do that, you see the inside. You will see if it is a live embryo, you start seeing blood veins radiating inside it. And if it is a dead embryo, you will find out that it will be what? Opaque.
Yes.
So from there, you know that this embryo is dead or it is alive. So that is how you find out if an egg is fertile or it is not. Then we also come to something that is very important, is hatching. Is hatching. So 19 to 21 days is hatching process. And what is hatching? What is hatching? Hatching is the process of breaking the shell, the egg shell, to allow the chick to come out. That is hatching. And that is the end of incubation. The egg being broken and the chick emerges. And in hatching, there are some common terms that are used. First, you have what is called hatchability. Hatchability. Now, hatchability is the percentage of the hatched eggs. The percentage of the eggs that are hatched is known as hatchability. So, and for a good flock, it should not be less than 80%. It should not be less than 80%. Then we also have what is called hash of fertile. Hash of fertile. This is the percentage of the fertile eggs that are hatched. The percentage of the fertile eggs that are hatched is called hash of fertile. And then you have hash of total. Hash of total is the percentage of the total eggs that are hatched. Now, there's an example there in your course material. Say, supposing 500 eggs were incubated. After 7 days, 450 were found to be fertile. If 400 of the fertile eggs are hatched into chicks, calculate the hash of fertile and hash of total. So first of all is, what is the total number of eggs that were incubated?
500.
5,000.
500. I can see that young member of the class. 500. And then you have the number of fertile eggs was what?
450.
450.
450.
Yes. And then the number of eggs that finally hatched is what?
400.
400. Therefore, percentage hash of fertile is 400 divided by 450 times 100 over 1, which gives us 88.9%. And then the hash of total is 400 divided by 500 times 100, which gives us 80%. So that is how you calculate hash of fertile and hash of total. Is there any question you'd like to ask?
Yes, sir.
No.
Please, I would like to ask the question,
Yes.
sir.
Yes?
Please, how can we know a fertile egg before taking them to the hatchery? Because as at then, no blood will be found in the egg. So how can we detect a fertile egg before taking it to the hatchery?
By kindling now.
It's through kindling. You know, we said that you do kindling after 7 days to determine when it's 7 days in the incubator, you do kindling.
Okay.
And also on the 17th day, 18th, 17th day, you also do kindling. You will now see the eggs that are fertile and have developed and the ones that are dead. So it is the fertile ones that you now move to the hatching unit where they will be hatched.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
now, there are factors that affect hatchability. And these factors include fertility, genetic, nutrition, disease, egg selection, and management practices. Now, usually, if the fertility is low, hatching will also be low. Now, if you have cock that have high fertility, which is genetically oriented. It will also affect the hatchability of their eggs. The food you give, if the food is not nutritious, it will also affect the hatchability of the eggs. If there are disease conditions, such as semolina and other diseases, it will affect production and will also affect the hatchability of the eggs. And then if you didn't do proper selection, egg selection, it will also affect your final hatchability. And then the management practices. If you have very poor management practices, then of course, you will also have problem. The eggs will not be very, very fertile, and many of the embryos will die before, within 4 days, they would have been dead. So storage of your eggs are very, very important. The egg begin to deteriorate after 4 days. So the management of the eggs is very important. The fertile eggs should be stored at a good temperature, 10 degrees Celsius. The eggs should be stored with their broad end up so that they can get ventilation. If you put the broad egg down, the animals, the egg is likely going to die because it will not have enough oxygen. The embryo will not have enough oxygen for development. And then there should be proper hygiene. Make sure that disinfectants are not rubbed off on the eggs. And then oily materials and all that are not rubbed on the eggs. So these are very important things you need to do. And ensure that you turn the eggs at least 3 times a day. And eggs that are stained should not be incubated. So these are things that you must guard against. Now, quickly, let's just look at how to use sex your chicks. Sexing is the separation of male and females of the chicks. And sexing is usually done from 5 to 8 weeks. When at 5 to 8 weeks, if you take a powerful source of light and you press it on the vent, you will see a protruding structure, you know, at in the middle of the vent for the male. And for the female, you will not find any of that kind of structure. Now, there are also generally that if you allow the birds to grow, when they are a bit older, you will begin to spot from 8 weeks, begin to spot comb for the males. They begin to have wattles, whereas the females, you won't find such a thing. And generally, the males are bigger. They are bigger than the females. Those are the main ways. So at day old, you press a powerful source of light to the vent. You will see the structures. The protruding structure shows while if you do not see that, you know it is a female. But when you put a powerful light, we're also going to use a magnifying glass, a lens, magnifying lens. Not that you can see it with your ordinary eye. With your ordinary eye, you will not see it. Get a magnifying lens with a good source of light, point it to the vent, and then you will see the structure. That's at day old. But as from 5 to 8 weeks, you can separate based on their size of the birds, the size of the combs, the size of the wattles. The males are bigger, and even the feathers, they develop faster than the females. Whereas in some of the birds, you can also use the color of the feathers, what you call the plumage color, determining whether it is male or female. And in the course material, I told you that like a golden comet, you find that there's a dark gold color pullets, while the cockerels, which are the males are white. So when you see that, you know that this is male and this is female. So those are the various things we are going to learn this evening. Is there any question you'd like to ask? Because I wouldn't want to keep this class beyond 6.
Good evening, sir.
Sorry?
Good evening, sir. Please, I would
Good
like
evening.
to, yes, sir. Concerning the how to identify the fertility using the candling device. Please, what's the
Yes.
sign when we put the head near the light?
The sign.
The sign that the legs are fertile.
That is fertile. Now, if you put the egg in the front of the light, if it is fertile and then the embryo is developing, you will see that you will see some like blood patches, like veins radiating inside. You will see it. But if it is dead, if that egg embryo is dead, it will be opaque. It will look like a cloud. It will look milky, cloud, dark. Then you know that that egg is dead. That is for the ones that are the embryos are dead. And this you can determine 7 days, and then later at the 14th day of incubation. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Are you okay? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to thank all of you, and if there's any other question you can ask, but if not, we look forward to meeting again next week, Tuesday.
Mommy.
Any question?
Mommy.
Sir, any question?
Not for now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Mukoro, Yodo, I wish you all a very happy week. And we
All right,
look forward
sir. Thank you, sir.
to meeting again next Tuesday.
Okay.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye, sir.
Bye-bye,
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.